Welcome to Roguecast, the official podcast of Rogues Gallery. We'll talk comics for the week, as well as whatever news is on our pop cultural radar. I'm Randy.
I'm Nick.
This is Dave.
And now, on with the show.
Hello and welcome back to the Roguecast.
You know what we are?
What?
We're like, am I right? Like about a month out from Free Comic Day?
We are about a month out from Free Comic Book Day. Yeah.
Are people going to see this advertised as like because they were maybe going to try? They're sort of rebranding it.
So it is also called Comics Giveaway Day, which is needlessly confusing. But here's the deal, and I understand why. Penguin Random House, which is one of the big distributors, they have no say or control over Free Comic Book Day, and they don't like that. So they're trying to rebrand as Comics Giveaway Day because basically Free Comic Book Day was part of Diamond.
And Diamond's dead
now. Diamond's dead now, and so it belongs to Universal Distribution. So it's a little bit of a splintering. It's still going to be Free Comic Book Day.
Right.
They can't call it that. They know we're not going to call it Comics Giveaway Day.
Yeah.
But they can't say we're still participating in Free Comic Book Day, which we have no say
after
in.
5 years of doing that, are we going to be like, okay, it's Comics Giveaway Day?
No, it's a dumber name. Free Comic Book Day.
See.
I will say this: Free Comic Book Day is just a straight ripoff of Free Ice Cream Day.
Ice Cream's Free Day, yeah.
Free Scoop
That's
Day.
I don't know if people know the secret origin of it, but yes, we essentially ripped it off from the Free Ice Cream Scoop Day from Baskin Robbins.
Yes. Joe Field, the retailer who did it, was like, we should have a free Scoop Day for comics. And they're like, we should. We did. It's a great idea. It is essentially just a ripoff of somebody else's marketing idea.
Yep.
Now it's Ice Cream Giveaway Day.
How about Comics Are For Everyone Day?
Yes.
Give me that.
Every day is Comics For
Here's the
Everyone
thing
Day.
is, Free Comic Book Day says exactly what it is.
Yeah, I know.
You go in, you get a free comic. Now, it does cause some confusion, because some people are like, so everything in the store is free? No, it's not.
That's true. This is a case where the giveaway might...
Also, giveaway is not quite so... It doesn't have the free in it.
Yeah.
Which means they don't think, oh, they're just got these free comics to give away. No, we pay for those comics.
Yeah.
Comics Giveaway Day, we would be saying, oh, shit, I'm talking myself into it.
Are you lawyering yourself into it?
I'm lawyering myself into it.
All right, we'll revisit it, but the main point is we're about a month out.
Yes.
They probably have the website up and running, so you can go and take a look at it.
Although I don't think they have everything there, because now Comics Giveaway Day is somewhere
it's
else.
in transition or
Yes.
whatever.
Well,
So-
and there's other books.
But isn't there, won't there be a website for that?
Probably. I don't know.
Well,
Okay.
there's going to be two things, because, Marvel's got one, DC's got another.
But that's all through the publishers. There is not a Comics Giveaway Day page.
Oh, you know what? We should take it upon ourselves to at least break down the selections, and we can post them on our socials.
We should probably do that.
All right. Well, anyway, I just want people to kind of start getting in your head. Rally the youngins. Keep that. I think May 2nd is, I believe,
May
the day.
2nd.
Go ahead and start setting that day aside.
You know what's interesting? There's not. I don't think there's a Marvel or DC movie this year. Usually there's
Is
a
there
movie.
not something that's?
Isn't Spider-Man?
Spider-Man is in July.
Oh, is it?
I wonder if there was, because yes, there almost always is.
Yeah,
I mean, not
Day
almost always. There always
is July 31st. What about Supergirl? What is Supergirl? Does it come out the day before? Is it that
Maybe.
soon? Supergirl is in June. I don't think there's a comic book movie the weekend of Free Comic Book Day, which it's
So
been a while.
Supergirl's only a month past. I wonder if at one point it was. slated
I
for
wondered that too.
Anyway.
So I'm looking through some of the selections from Comics Giveaway Day, aka Free Comic Book Day.
In a weird way, by the way, it's good because we don't have to worry about being spoiled that weekend. Sometimes because people have to stand in line for a bit sometimes, and you don't want somebody to be like, I can't believe Supergirl tore off Lobo's head.
Yeah.
You just don't want it to be out there. And then we have to worry about that.
Yep.
So that I'm kind of okay with it.
I see, so there's Garfield, Gem and the Holograms, Power Rangers, Something's Killing the Children, Avatar: The Last Airbender,
Some good
Master of the
licenses.
Universe, Dungeons and Dragons, Lock and Key, Sonic always.
That's all very licensy in a lot of ways.
That's a lot of licensing.
But they've also done some very good stuff with those licenses. So it's what we used to be just trashy cash grab comics have actually gotten pretty good.
Yeah. Aliens, Predator, Planet of Apes from Marvel.
Wait, really?
Yep. Amazing. Not all together. There's 3 books. 3.
Oh, okay. Because I'd be okay with
Sure,
it.
I'd read it.
If Cornelius from Planet of the Apes had to shoot a xenomorph,
Or had a xenomorph come out of him.
Yeah, or he's like, we have to make an alliance with these predators.
Yes.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Amazing Spider-Man, Queen in Black, Armageddon, X-Men. So all the big Marvel. A Spidey and His Amazing Friends, which seems to feature Jeff fighting some kind of Venom spider pig, maybe?
Delightful.
Last Kids on Earth. Pizza and Taco is a lot of the all ages stuff in there.
Okay.
Stitch, I see, is one of the things. So there's a lot of good stuff.
This is going to be a good year. It sounds
I
like.
know there's also an Energon Universe one.
Yep.
I remember at times those Energon universes have been great.
And I know Dungeon Crawler Carl is doing one as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember that. That's from Vault, I believe. All right. So let's talk about...
Do you want to talk about, what did we get game-wise this week?
Well, first of all, clearance sale still going on.
Yep.
We're about to hit the point of the final month, which means it'll be... Everything on the table will be like $5 or $10.
Yep.
That's coming soon.
You know what somebody picked up earlier today from the clearance table? It was the... what's the thing that they did that had the smaller movie licenses, like Total Recall and stuff?
Oh, yeah, Everyday Heroes.
Everyday Heroes, yeah. Which ultimately didn't take, but had some fun ideas. There were some kind of weird universes to play around in, but one of them was Highlander.
Yeah.
And this guy got the Highlander book.
Cool.
And he seemed very satisfied.
And that book is gone, of course, because there can be only one.
There can be only one.
They made one book.
We had the one in the world.
One book, yeah.
He happened to find it half off.
Yeah.
So, really, doubly
half off,
good.
just like a Highlander after you cut their head off.
That's right. It's
or
not really...
That's a third off.
Like a fifth.
A fifth, yeah, you're right.
I gotta tell that guy we need to raise the price.
Sorry.
He owes us.
The quickening will happen. We're running our Heat Pedal to the Metal tournament. We still have room for a couple people. That's this Friday night.
But we've had some sign-ups. We've got some interest. Yeah. You should come out and test your skill, test your might.
We are teaching. I know some people who've never played it are playing.
Yep.
So, we are teaching the game. Supergirl Day, a.k.a. Superman Day.
Oh, is it Supergirl's taking over this year?
Supergirl's taking over this year. That's April 18th.
That's
so we'll have some giveaways. There's the free first issue of Sophie Campbell's run, the first issue of the Tom King run, which they're basing the movie on.
Right.
A few other things.
I'll say this. I'm not a Tom King guy, but people have tended to love that story. They're very into it. It inspired the whole freaking movie.
Yep.
So that's very cool. But I do love the current Supergirl comic from Sophie Campbell, which is just about to get collected, and we'll talk about it later.
Yep.
So I love that they're putting that out.
In the games, we got the Dungeons and Kittens RPG Core Rulebook. This is a book we've had the starter set for this.
Yeah.
This is you're playing cats in a D&D world.
It's actually a post-apocalyptic world.
Yeah, but it's a D&D style post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, it's just...
I'm going to guess it's not a super dark
It is not, I don't think.
There are some dark aspects.
Okay.
Are they? Okay, I got to see how they present it.
Yeah, I mean, some of the... And the art is gorgeous throughout
You know
the
what I
entire
do
book.
remember, though, is Mouse Guard sounds like a cute little book about mice, but it takes itself so seriously.
Okay, so it's not as dark as Mouse Guard, but there is some darkness.
Okay.
Yeah. DC HeroClix give us the Venom boosters. So Null, Carnage, all some of those characters.
If you like symbiotes, this is
yours. Symbiotes. We got a Kickstarter that we did a few years back. They did a new Kickstarter for a game called Flip Town. It is what they called a flip and write. So it's like a roll and write, but instead you're like flipping poker cards.
Okay.
And you are trying to earn stars. You're building a Wild West town. So you might be a miner. You might rob banks. You might rob stagecoaches. All this kind of stuff.
Sounds cool. Is the flip and write for people who are too lazy to do the...
No, it's just a different thing.
Okay.
Use a literal poker deck.
Okay.
So you're filling spaces on your board, and also.
So is that one Western themed?
Yes.
Just completely Western.
At the end of your turns, you also have like a poker hand that you've built up. So it's like
that's
you might be
really
doing some
fun.
things on your board that might not be ideal for your board, but will get you a better poker hand.
Oh, yeah.
The reason they did a new Kickstarter for it, we had the base game, but they also have New Frontier, which is a full box expansion, which adds panning for gold, riding the rails. Wrangling cows, so some other spaces. Yep. We also got a standalone game called Flip Voyage, which is you're on a voyage through Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea.
What kind of game is this?
It's a flip and write. It's another flip and write.
Oh, okay.
Same deal, uses the poker cards.
I need to watch a video of this so I can kind of envision this. But 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is a super cool property.
Yep.
Captain Nemo is cool. The Nautilus is cool. Their adventures are cool. There's a giant squid in it.
Yep.
I bet this game has all of that stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. They're also they are really nice looking games.
They are.
They're really pretty. And the New Frontier expansion and Flip Voyage both come with a mini expansion that we got. So you get some extra content. I really like this game. I bought it when we got the original Kickstarter. Played it a few times. It's a lot of fun. And then we got a game called Yokai Carnival, which we sold out of, but we should get back in.
Yep.
But
Japanese monsters, right?
Yes.
Or demons, or
you're
something?
supposed to. You're leading the yokai emerging from the darkness. You want to gather more yokai than the other troops and claim the title of Yokai King.
Nice.
Yep. Talk comics.
Okay. So this is a widely varying week.
Yep.
And Randy, let me just ask you this because I always make the signs for the week, and I don't recall making any for DC All-In stuff. Did we accidentally miss them this week, or are there just not like specific All-In titles?
There's no specific jumping on points. There is a 50th anniversary World's Finest.
Okay,
Yes.
just one of those weeks that just for whatever reason didn't happen to have any like notable ones.
Yep.
But there are some notable DC comics, which we'll talk about.
But the big release for this week is probably Daredevil #1. People have been talking about this one. They've done numerous Daredevils number ones.
Yeah, it's funny, but there is buzz right now, and I actually don't quite know why, but it's my favorite book of the week. So
Daredevil we talked about before. This is a character, despite being a lesser Batman. He's basically a dude who he's blind. He has radar senses, but he's basically just
character.
He's low powered. He's a street level character, but he has had some of the best runs in all of comics.
Yeah, it's true.
Frank Miller, Brian Bendis, Ed Brubaker, Chip Zdarsky, and then the recent one that Solid Ahmed did was actually pretty good.
I think you like Charles Soule's run?
Charles Soule and Nascenti did a weird one.
Yeah, but it's like, for a character who was like not one of the icons exactly, he has had probably more good stories per capita than anybody else.
I'd say great.
Yeah, and it's crazy. And honestly, even though Mark Waid did I know, that was another great run. He did a specific callback to the sort of more swashbucklery early days of him. But there's no doubt that Frank Miller's noir take on him in the 80s cemented a certain look for that character, and it has stayed forever.
Even Wade's take had a little bit of that crimey stuff, because it had that weird thing they did with the Spot that was like creepy.
Yeah, we don't even want to talk about how gross that one was.
Yeah. This is Stephanie Phillips. First female writer of Daredevil since Ann Nesenti, I think.
Oh, you might be right. So since the 80s.
And artist...
That's not good for our industry.
Artist Lee Garbett, who... I
really liked
I really like Lee Garbett as an artist. I've always liked Lee Garbett.
Back on
the thing that you told me about, Randy, that I didn't know about this, that's kind of part of the hook of it, is that instead of his various, like, lawyerly backs... he's been a prosecuting attorney, he's been a defense attorney and all that stuff. He is now working as a law professor. Yeah. Which has taken him out of like that fight. But I actually really kind of enjoyed how it begins. My first thought is like, what coworker is he going to sleep with? Because Daredevil is a big horn dog, and he's also kind of a player, to be honest. Yes. Like, look at him. Look how handsome he looks in this scene. Yep. And I was like, please don't let it be this kind of attractive student who's... No, I think that's going to be she's going to be a protege. I think so too, but I actually really liked it. So there's a scene early on where he's talking about contracts, and although this sounds kind of boring, it's interesting as it like relates to this scene in there. You see that about half the students have laptops out and are typing away on it, and he says that he's like I want our space to have really good discussions. So he's like, I'm going to ask you to close up those laptops. And then the student kind of questions him on that and makes some good points about like why they might need him and why he should make some room. And he's like, okay. He's like, you made a point. He's like, how about this? He's like, you can keep those out, but when we have class discussions, you put them up. And he's like, deal. And they shake hands. And he's like, okay. He's like, we just made a contract there, and that's an interesting point. He makes this connection with this student and shows that he's not just like some old stuffy old professor. He runs into a fellow professor who they have a little sort of barbed conversation. Yeah. Which I really liked. I kind of liked Matt being off his game a little bit. Did I mention she's beautiful? Right. That's almost certainly going to... One of the great things from Mark Waid's run where he's like, Foggy's like, how is it that you, a blind man, are always hooking up with the hottest women in the world? Yes. So good. Now, I also kind of wouldn't be surprised if Stephanie Phillips maybe throws a little curve here, and this isn't just the exactly what it looks like, but it could be. There's also there's a new villain, sort of serial killer-esque looks like. I mean, very standard. The thing I thought was interesting about this is he even calls attention to it, where he's talking about this is all different but sort of familiar. Like I'm in a different bar, being an old school for law school. He's like it's very similar to what I usually do, which I thought was interesting to have her. Stephanie Phillips basically calls out, like, hey, I'm not, like, reinventing the wheel here. Right, like, he's a professor instead of a lawyer, but what I'm doing is a classic Daredevil, secret identity, Daredevil's out fighting in the streets. Like,
And it's a pretty solid first issue in that way.
Well, I think like the dialogue is good. There's one where he's like having he's out for drinks with an old friend, and I just found like it's an interesting conversation between them.
Yeah.
When the cops are investigating the murder, I thought it was pretty well written.
It introduces what I assume is a new character. The cop, the detective.
Yeah, the detective. Yeah.
Yep.
Also, worth noting, has blind bags.
Yep. This made me laugh. I was like, "That's messed up, Marvel."
Yeah.
But yes, there are mystery bags for this with the thing you've seen on other mystery bags recently, which is to say that there's going to be a variety of different covers that you could get in them. Some of them quite rare, and even the possibility of the one of a kind sketch covers from various artists.
Yep.
So I imagine these are going to go kind of quickly. We'll do a limit, but since there's already buzz on the book. And they've got that going on as well. You may want to jump on this one kind of quick if you want one of those covers, or you just want to check out a story that's pretty cool.
First issue of a new Wonder Man miniseries. It's written by Jerry Dugan, who recently did the West Coast Avengers book that I did not like.
What did Jerry Dugan do recently that I did like?
I don't know.
There was something. I was trying to figure this out the other day.
I liked his Savage Avengers.
Yeah, I forget what it was, but there was something he did that I liked. But I'm not usually the biggest fan, and even though I do love me some Wonder Man, so much so that my staff picture has me drawn as Wonder Man, I wasn't in love with this either. But like, here's the thing: is like it is fairly cleverly written. It is clearly a kind of a riff on a little bit on the show, in the sense that it's like
it's all set in Hollywood,
insider Hollywood stuff. Simon's like kind of doing some producing right now.
Yep,
he's not doing it as sort of acting gigs and. There's things, he's in costume most of this time.
It's a weird choice to make this costume, by the way. He definitely took the ugliest Wonder Man costume and put it on.
Yeah, but I think this artist draws it well.
It's Mark Buckingham, by the way, of Fables.
Oh,
it's a good artist.
That makes sense.
The artist draws it well, but it is weird to color it with some of the green. He's trying to incorporate all the different Wonder Man costumes.
Right.
And it's a strange call, but it's a solid costume.
I think it looks pretty good as a callback costume. Yeah. This has this isn't like Wonder Man is going to be fighting some dudes. This is like him on the Hollywood backlot talking insider stuff. It's got clever, snappy dialogue.
It's got Patsy Walker from Hellcat.
Patsy Walker's in it. It calls back his old school, the earliest bit of lore about him where he was actually a guy who actually was like a wealthy industrialist that's kind of forgotten sometimes, maybe rightly so, who got in trouble with some embezzlement and went to jail for like some time. And this has to do with like a guy that he was a cellmate with, who's also like in Hollywood circles now. I will say this: it's clear Jerry Dugan like kind of knows what he's talking about.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sort of jargon and sort of Hollywood stuff in here. It's fun. It's not what I was looking for Wonder Man, but it may be the right speed for somebody. And you should also check it out just to see the Fables dude draw Wonder Man.
Yeah, for sure.
But
we also have a...
Oh, is it a miniseries or not?
It's a miniseries. Okay. We also have a new miniseries, Captain Marvel Dark Past, which is Carol Danvers as Captain Marvel. She winds up on an old case that relates back to her days as Miss Marvel when she was like a magazine reporter.
Yep.
It also features Iron Man. It makes reference to the sort of Alcoholics Anonymous thing that Kurt Busiek introduced.
He was her sponsor, right?
Yep.
But also ties into sort of her fragmented memory.
Yep, with Rogue.
Rogue.
And Spider-Woman guest stars.
Spider-Woman guest stars?
It is sort of a Captain Marvel best of. And it's written by Paul Jenkins. And I like this artist, Wernick. I don't remember...
I have not read this, but I flipped through it and I remember, kind of liking the artwork.
I also like the
Lucas
beefed up villains that are in it, too.
Yeah, for sure. It's fun. It's a fun first issue.
Do you mean beefed up? I'm not.
There's a new twist to them.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I saw who it was, and those are some villains I like.
Yeah.
Y'all know how much I love April Fool's Day.
Yes, so much.
And how much I love Deadpool.
Wackiness.
So what if you combine the two things I love so much into a one-shot comic?
Yeah, but this one's written by Gail Simone.
So that's the thing. Gail Simone has written my favorite Deadpool.
I didn't even realize it was Gail Simone. I should have put that on the sign.
Gail Simone is writing a Deadpool one-shot. Yep. So even though, and I see Outlaw from the Domino run in there, like, I didn't read this because I ran out of time to read it, but I will probably give this a read.
Day, Gail Simone got me to read some Deadpool when I otherwise would not have.
Same. So I will probably read this, even though it combines two things I absolutely hate.
Yep.
And if you are a Deadpool fan, this is probably going to be one of the
You're
best
gonna have a
Deadpool
great
things
time.
this year.
You're
Yeah.
gonna have a great time.
If you are a Deadpool, if you are a fan of the Eternals, first of all, you don't exist. Second of all,
They exist.
Listen, they exist, but they're all creators. It's all like people like you remember like
You're
the
not
people
wrong
who
on
bonded
that.
with it in the 70s or 60s when they were a kid or whatever. 70s, I guess, was when they were created. Like Neil Gaiman, who was like, they all have their own pitch for how to bring them into the modern era.
somebody out there really likes the Eternals, and it is their 50th anniversary, so they get a 50th anniversary
You gotta give them
special
a 50th anniversary special.
with three different writers, some pretty solid art. Michael Cho, Phil Noto, Dale Eaglesham. Like, that's some solid art.
I was going to say, that's a really good list.
Cho is definitely, he can do the Kirby-esque thing, and he does it very well. So
But there may be people out there, Randy, who like, although they don't love them, maybe they like them.
maybe so.
So
Again,
maybe this is for you.
it's-
Are you an Eternals liker?
do you not hate the Eternals?
This is exceptional artwork.
Nice. I kind of feel like I've broadly noticed just an uptick in the quality of art lately.
Agreed. I totally agree.
And like there's some really good freaking art out there.
There's a new Alien miniseries written by Saladin Ahmed. It takes place kind of like the Predator book right now, where the focus is on the world building around the Predator.
Yeah.
This is a world where basically there's a
It's like an alien world that's been like kind of overrun, right?
yes, it's a world overrun by aliens, and there are three different kings, like a green king, a red king, and a
Right, like
white king or something.
Am I right that it's kind of like scavengery people are left alive,
Yeah.
and so there's like a little sort of feudal sort of
So
thing?
there's this kid who runs this badass with a sword his sword can cut through aliens without being destroyed by acid, and they're like out in the wastelands, and they're trying to go to the settlements that are protected from the aliens. It's a good but a bit of world building, and it's a very different kind of alien book. So I would recommend it. Okay. Also, again, nice art.
Yeah.
Marvel Rivals has another one-shot, Duel of Kings, which is Namor versus T'Challa.
Yep.
And also Jeff the Landshark.
Right. I was reading that's like, the description of it, and they're like, these two warlords, have always, their kingdoms have often clashed. But this time, Namor's bought Jeff. That sounds ridiculous and in very up Marvel Rivals alley.
Yep.
And you know if you like these ones.
Yep. Mad about DC. This was a surprise.
As in Mad Magazine.
Mad Magazine. I think we all had thought this was going to be like Mad Magazine's creators doing some DC comics, and weren't
Which
super
they've done
interested.
over the years. They've done plenty of spoofs of DC stuff, and in fact, they're owned by DC, so they've done plenty of it.
But in fact,
Is-
they've put Madman Chip Zdarsky
Yep, one of the funniest dudes in comics.
as the editor, the guest editor of this book, and as a result, they've got a ton of comic book talent, like Scotty Young.
Scott Snyder.
Scott Snyder does
he spoofs his own thing,
Yep,
right?
he
I
does.
haven't read all of this.
He does an absolute spoof. Mark Waid and Ty Templeton, Jim Zub, Tom Taylor, Chip himself does some stuff.
I think the short version of this is, we would say, it's really funny.
It is hilariously funny. It's a bunch of 1 and 2
funnier
page
than
gags.
I would say, much notably funnier than the average. And I say this as like, I read Mad as a kid. I like Mad. And I think it's very funny. But this is like a cut above.
Yep.
Well, it also takes some of the Mad Magazine staples.
Yeah,
and kind of-
Right. Like Spy versus Spy happens in this, only
Yep.
it's Guy
Versus
versus Spy.
Spy.
Guy Gardner up against one of the spies, and he's got all these constructs, but you know how those sneaky little spies are. And actually, I love the ending to that one. There are so many clever bits in this.
Man, I just realized I missed a page. Missing a page, I flipped past it. I missed a what if crossed out, because that's Marvel.
Oh.
Wouldn't it be fun to assume what would have occurred if Bruce Wayne was a big old scaredy cat by Death Ray podcast guy Scott Aukerman, so another
Nice.
comedian. And then on the other page is The Petty Vengeance of the Spectre by Al Ewing.
Man, this one is really good. We think it's going to be like kind of like a stealth, like a sort of a sleeper hit. And we've already
Yep.
ordered some more because we think it's going to sell out.
If you want this, probably good to drop us an email or come in early and get it. But yes, we have already ordered more copies. This was a surprise hit for me this week. It's one of my favorite things I read this week.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
Random example of some of its weirdness here. The iconic, their famously weird 800 number where you could call in to kill or save Robin in the 80s, and that's how which Robin died?
It was
Jason Todd, and he became Red Hood and all. There is an ad that's exactly in that mock-up style, and it is Red Hood on it, and now you can call to apologize to him.
You could say I'm sorry,
basically,
or really sorry.
He's like, I'm going to come get you. There's some good, and there's some twisted stuff in here. There's some stuff we don't know how they got away with.
Bizarro Year None from Kevin Smith and Eric Carrasco and Nick Pitara. I don't know who Eric Carrasco is. He's the co-writer with Kevin Smith.
This is the weirdest thing since the Superman by the Ice Cream Man guy.
Well, Nick Pitara's stuff looks a lot like Frank Quitely.
And it has something in common with that.
This feels like, someone said, this kind of feels like All-Star Bizarro. Mm-hmm. It is a Jimmy Olsen and Perry White team-up of sorts.
That intersects with a version of Bizarro in the end. It's not quite the typical version.
No.
By the way, I know this is like a comedy comic, right? Or like comedic in tone.
Yeah.
But the way they drew Bizarro's square world is actually so cool looking. The way this artist made it look so real.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's a kind of like it feels like an absolute or all-star take on it, where the first half of the story is like a meeting Perry White is holding, in the office, with a big old hole in the wall because a giant Toyman soldier was attacking and got stopped there, and it hasn't been removed yet. So the whole time they're talking, the camera occasionally will just glimpse outside, and there's this big, creepy, nutcracker face out there with, one of its eyes popped out. And they're just going about their conversation like this is just a normal thing in the thing.
It happens.
There's a lot of Kevin Smith banter in it. There's a lot of crazy art from that dude, super detailed and weird but cool looking. I found it a kind of weirdly appealing. I think it's one of those comics for people who read Doom Patrol and like the weirder side of things, or get Ice Cream Man.
Yep.
And read that one.
It's definitely a unique take on Bizarro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure where Kevin Smith is going. It's actually not quite his usual speed. It's interesting, it's funny and good, and there's some very witty dialogue in it. Between them, but it's a little different from what you would sort of expect from him.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
I'm not quite sure where it's headed. I find his take on Bizarro interesting and weird, so we'll see.
Yeah. Batman Superman World's Finest, number 50. This is a anniversary issue, so it's oversized. It's got 2 stories in it, both written by Mark Waid.
I noticed that the main one is a thing I don't always like, but I thought it was a pretty good one for their anniversary.
It's a good version, yeah.
It's a dream story.
Yep.
Batman and Superman are in a dream world where they have to kind of figure out through dream logic how to resolve the threats and the danger they're in.
Using a classic DC foe, the Dr. Destiny.
Yep.
Who will forever be creepy because of Sandman.
Yes, that was one of the most twisted moments in Sandman.
The art on this first story is by Dan Mora, which is unsurprisingly gorgeous.
Well, one of the things is almost from panel to panel they're changing looks.
Yeah.
They're driving a 1960s style Batmobile, but with a Superman motif to it that actually looks really cool. They'll change costumes between panels. There's one where Catwoman attacks, and
she's shifting costumes.
She's changing costumes, and Superman says, he's like, "Is this where your head is? Is that when you sleep? I mean, it's hard to blame you." But yeah, they're actually kind of doing that thing where they are discussing their differences in their morality, and also why they're best friends too. So it's kind of neat because the dream logic means that they can kind of range around in these conversations in a way you couldn't with a logical conversation.
And then the backup is a sort of a funny, kind of a throwback. Basically, Robin and Jimmy Olsen in sort of a race for credit, basically, against Batgirl and Supergirl teamed up.
Something like that.
Yeah. Art by Adrian Gutierrez, which is also really nice.
It is. It's crazy.
This is goofy and fun and very Silver Agey.
Yeah.
In a way that I enjoyed.
I agree.
It also has a Weird Al variant cover.
That is true. On the Weird Al variant cover, he's standing up in the foreground with his goofy accordion.
Yep.
Batman's behind him looking sour, and Superman is cheering, yeah. Which, by the way, totally, I feel like it fits the Superman of the recent Superman movie, the one who was into the Mighty Crab Joys.
Yes.
I think that Superman was a Weird Al guy, and so it fits for me.
My favorite book of the week is a book from Image called Royals. written by Derek Kirk Kim, art by Jacob Perez from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Animated. And it is about a pair of telepathic Korean-American brothers
art is really nice.
Who are in Korea. One of them is sort of the handsome poker star, and the other one is kind of a nerdy, nebbishy kid.
Yeah.
And it turns out that because of their telepathic link, basically what they've been doing is the nerdy one goes to a bar and watches the stream where the poker reporters are telling what all the hands are.
Yep.
And he's basically telepathically informing his brother how to win.
Yeah.
Which is a really pretty foolproof cheating system. No one would know. Oh, what if someone telepathically is giving him the cards?
Right.
But it is still, he wins against basically this big gangster who owns the casino, and there's definitely implications that might go poorly for them.
Nice.
But a lot of it is just like a pair of brothers. One of them is like, hey, maybe we should stop doing this. The other one is like flirting with pretty girls, getting drinks, really enjoying the whole thing.
There was an
artwork
interesting
in this
conversation with a priest in
Yeah,
this that,
yeah, there is,
that I really enjoyed.
The artwork is really good. It looks like almost like animation.
Yeah,
style,
it's got that vibe.
but it's kind of shaded a little bit more detailed with a little bit more richness.
But this has really good character stuff. It's a really fun premise, and it's very energetic. I really, really enjoyed this.
It's on my to-read list for the week.
G.I. Joe Silent Missions.
That's right. It's as if it's a Cobra silent mission, so it's silent missions.
So this is going to be 5 one-shots.
I know we've talked about it in the past. G.I. Joe had the very famous silent mission story in issue 21 back in the 80s. The writer did a rare case where he drew in issue 2, and it became legendary.
Yep.
It's like, to this day, still talked about decades later. And they've already done some ones with the G.I. Joe heroes in it, but this is the time for the villains to get their thing.
Yep. This is written by Declan Shalvey, art by Joel Jones. Really, really nice art by Joel Jones.
It is a super sexy Baroness issue.
Yep.
This is what you need to know.
Baroness and Destro going at it. Not going at it against one another.
There's a little implication that it's maybe coming up, but yes, Cobra Commander is kind of doing kind of a little. He's sending them out on missions that may be a little bit at cross purposes with each other.
Yep.
And like there's an assassination. They're both kind of like all decked out to go to this like opera where the hit's supposed to go down. But Destro looks all badass in his suit. Baroness is all super hot in like her dress. And if you're a Baroness fan, I'm going to say you should just go ahead and pick this up.
Always so.
Or if you just like a good silent issue.
Yep. Match the Gathering gets I believe it's another one-shot. This is Untold Stories of Jace. Jace is one of their, blue magic guys. He's one of their good guys.
Yep.
It's a miniseries.
Okay. I have heard, when I was making the sign for this, that he had some sort of troubled background or some sort of a little bit of darkness to his early days, and that in some way this delves into that, and maybe it's coming up in the present. So I think for people who follow the lore on this could be kind of cool.
Image has a book called Kilroy is Here. It's a one-shot.
It is a one-shot.
Written by Joe Pruitt, art by Dalibor Talajic, who has done a bunch of good stuff before.
Yeah,
he worked on a lot of Vertigo stuff.
Again, this is based on the sign I made. I haven't read it yet, but their own promotion indicated that there's a person named Kilroy who can sort of step outside of time or something like that, and has been around as a sort of a silent protector for people over the maybe decades. I don't know how long. But I think he's trying to stop a war, maybe they call it a war to end all wars. Yeah. And they also described it as horror, so I think they may indicate that his weird life outside of the main reality is a kind of a nightmarish existence. I don't know. I do know that the famous Kilroy is Here graffiti from the 40s, they make out that that's how he signs that he's been someplace when he helps somebody or whatever. But it seemed like a weird, interesting premise, kind of Twilight Zone-y.
Bad Idea has a book called Megalith. This is I didn't read this one.
All right, I can only say again from the signs here that the East Coast is threatened by this alien technology that somehow I feel like it destroys a city or something like that, and then from the city's wreckage it 3D prints this giant mecha that's going to destroy the rest of the world.
So this is also number 0.
Yeah, so I think it's leading into
there are multiple stories. There's a preview of their book called The Hab. which is another horror.
That
book.
explains why when I was looking it up, I saw like mentions of other titles. So
Tiny
this is like a
Millionaire's-
preview book of
Tiny Millionaire's Oddbell's Odyssey, which is a very different kind of book for them, and then a book called Tankers versus Ancient Aliens. So this is a
Is that Sock Monkey?
yes, that's a Sock Monkey dude.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, this is a little teaser of some stories from Bad Idea.
Okay. That makes more sense than it's all the one big thing.
Tyler Rake, an Extraction story. This is a miniseries. I don't know if this is the original or if it's a new one. I think it's a new one. That is basically, this is the Netflix movies with Chris Hemsworth called Extraction.
Yeah, he's like a mercenary in it.
He's a mercenary who gets people. He's like an anti-kidnapping mercenary, I think.
Right, and this is like a new story from the original creator.
Original creative team. Yeah,
I think the original graphic novel went back to like 2016.
Yeah, and they're reprinting it soon. This is Ignition Press.
Yeah.
And then we got a new Groo the Prophecy #1.
Yeah. I was for people who don't know, Groo the Wanderer or Groo the Barbarian is a cartoony, goofy little barbarian drawn by the won every award in the book cartoonist Sergio Aragonés. He's been drawn for like Mad Magazine and other humor publications since like the 60s. He's got to be pretty old.
Yeah.
But like, man, this is still like in some ways as detailed as he's ever done. Groo is his like goofy dumb barbarian. It was picked up by Marvel in the 80s, and that's when I got on board. I think 1984.
Okay.
And I probably read like a good 100 issues of it. It is like a kind of goofy humor about like this dumb barbarian. He basically wanders into some place, gets in trouble, destroys the whole town, kills a bunch of people accidentally. But there's a little bit of a morality play to each issue, and there's some heart to it. And he's got his little dog who's smarter than him, who's always traveling around with him. And there's also a big wide cast of characters that have shown up over the years, like the Sage and other people, like this dude who's a minstrel and all of that. But basically, it's all kind of lighthearted spoofs of fantasy tropes and stuff. Very much it's about, like, do you enjoy Sergio Aragonés' art?
Right.
And his art is also super, super cool.
It is wild to me that they haven't collected all the Groo stuff into trades or something.
They do it every once in a while, but then they just
they don't collect all of it.
There are, like, probably, I would bet 200 issues if you just add them all up.
I mean, why there isn't a nice line of like digests or something is crazy to me.
Yeah.
I don't know if Sergio Aragonés just doesn't want it.
His art is, I think, so appealing to kids.
Yeah.
There's something about his characters, they look goofy and like easy to draw, which is something kids like, but like the detail and the massive cityscapes and stuff he draws are beyond what any kid could do. But as a kid, that was part of the appeal, was I was like, I could draw these. Anyway, always happy to see Groo back. I have a nostalgia for it.
We got a few second or new printings: Murder Drones, Narcos, and Tigress Island, all of which were snapped up pretty early.
Yep.
But we have new printings of them if you want to try those out. Murder Drones also has a #2 this week. And then in the also ran comics, Venom #6 is part 6 of 9 of the Death Spiral story, which I'm really enjoying this story.
I did not expect to. I was like, God knows I don't want more serial killer comics.
They've turned us into Carnage fans, Dave. What have they done?
But I know, but like they keep doing it pretty good. And so this one sort of has some big stuff in it.
This one has a big speculator
or not
moment.
big, depending on how you feel about what happens.
Yeah.
But the point being, there's some collateral damage in this one.
Yep.
There's some like big full-on fights with the new character of Spiral. All of these are kind of like testing Spider-Man to see like if he's going to snap under some of the pressure here.
Yeah.
He's definitely still kind of on the like we're not gonna let anybody die here, or we're not gonna kill anybody.
Yep.
But so there's a pretty notable thing that happens in it.
X-Men by Jed MacKay. I'm still really enjoying this. It's he's got a new set of bad guys that he's been building up the last 3 issues, and they're going up against the X-Men who have been split and divided, and we're seeing the X-Men started make their turnaround and come back against them.
Nice.
Absolute Superman #18 is the start of a new story arc introducing the absolute version of Shazam.
Oh, cool. Yes. Very different take
Very
on
different
it,
and
as you
dark.
might guess.
Yep.
Yes.
But also, Dave, as you were noticing, we were talking about off mic, there's some stuff with Ra's al Ghul that is surprising.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually kind of say what that is. It's you see Ra's al Ghul and Talia in this. Now, early on, he was like the first big threat in this book.
Yep.
And when he was captured, Superman they showed these scenes where he would visit him in prison and like read from him, like there was like there was I forget, he was like threatening kids or something as part of like his scheme. And Superman is like, I talked to the kids, and they actually want you to be a better person or something like that.
Yep.
And so he would like show up every day for an hour and read Ra's al Ghul in prison the letters from these kids trying to rehabilitate him. And Ra's al Ghul is like saying like some of the cruelest things to him, and he's like, I'm gonna escape, and he's like, I'm going to actually track down these kids and kill them. Like, it was terrible.
Yep.
But now he is out somehow. Talia runs into him. She's like, oh, Father, we can get our plans back running again. And he's like, no, I changed.
Yep.
And it seems like it's legit, like Superman actually got to him, which I thought was very cool.
There's another Superman character who also was introduced in here.
There is another one,
and
too.
And it's an interesting take. So,
yes.
Yeah.
They're both, they're flipping some of these things on their ends in very interesting ways. Jason Aaron continues to think about this stuff, and I think he is a great guy to have as the Absolute.
This is probably my second favorite Absolute book, right after Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
I really enjoy
agree.
it.
I think they have some of the funnest ideas in it.
Batman, Matt Fraction's Batman, number 8. We've all been big fans of this. This is still my favorite ongoing book right now. This week is a
guest artist, but it's a good artist.
It's
like
Ryan Sook, who is fantastic. I mean, if you're going to have to replace Jorge Jimenez, but it guest stars Poison Ivy as she, the new mayor of Gotham, has a run-in with Vandal Savage, her police commissioner.
Yeah, Vandal Savage is like, I want you to like unchain our police forces to go after Batman and stuff like that. And they actually have a really interesting convo about it.
There's another interesting convo in here. Alan Scott, the Green Lantern, who is a Gotham-based hero.
Yep.
He and Batman have a sit down at a diner, which is really interesting.
Yeah, Batman's exact reason for doing it sort of public is like he does explain it, and I think we can sort of say it begins to answer a question I've had since they introduced since what's his name Vandal Savage became police commissioner, this kind of like dangerous police commissioner a couple years back, which is Vandal Savage is usually trying to conquer the world and stuff like that. It's weird for him to be so small as to try and take this specific job in Gotham. Batman is coming to longtime Gothamite and the first person to ever fight Vandal Savage to what's his name? Alan Scott, to ask him about this. And so you start to, they are surmising what's going on, and it does mean I think we'll get a more concrete answer, but I was glad that they did that. I was just like, I feel like it's possible that when Zdarsky was writing the book, that it might have just been like, well, I kind of just thought it'd be neat.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, let's dive into it and like figure out why is it such a big plan or doing such a seemingly small thing? What is it? How does it fit his plans? What's he getting out of it? And it's super, super interesting here.
And there's also the third story in there focusing on a reporter and
reporting his protege, basically.
Yeah, which I thought was really interesting as well. Fraction is doing some really good writing here, just overall.
Every issue is kind of different.
The way he thinks about everyday situations to put, like... I mean, Batman sitting in a cafe is not usually done.
Yeah.
But the structure to this story is to interweave these stories. It's actually... The title of the issue is something like... it's 3 Old Men, One Night in Gotham.
Yep.
And the old men are the old reporter, Alan Scott, and... I guess Vandal Savage, who's like
he's literally the oldest
immortal. Man. He's like 50,000 years old, and the conversations kind of interweave to sort of play off of each other. Even though nobody is aware of the other conversations going on, but every issue has some sort of interesting structure or some formal challenge like that. That's kind of interesting. It's another good issue.
Yeah.
Comics the Magazine number 2 comes out. This is the sort of attempt to recapture the spirit of Wizard.
Yep.
It's got one of their things they do is going to be a big interview with the entire creative team of a book, and this time it's Battle Beast. So it's like not just writer and artist, but also like the publisher, the colorist, sort of letterer, like hit every aspect of it. There's also a discussion with Joe Casey and Robert Kirkman about their new book Terminal that's coming out.
Somebody was just telling me that's like, I feel like that's probably going to be a big book because it's Robert Kirkman's next big thing.
Yeah.
It's got kind of like a 90s X-Men-ish energy to it, but I think it's about, isn't it like a little like that Strikeforce Morituri? Like they have like terminal illnesses or you're going to die if you get powers or
I guess
something?
I haven't looked that much into it yet.
I haven't either, but I think I feel like people who like Invincible and stuff like that, which is like a billion people right now, that they're going to want to keep an eye on Terminal, and you can kind of get a sense of what it's about probably by reading this very interview.
Features with artist Ben Stenbeck, talking about the Night Ears from Sonic Takeda and Marjorie Liu, Headlopper, which is about to come back.
I like their dollar bin thing.
Yeah.
It is a weird dive this week.
Yep.
It's Tony Fleeks
And Tim Seeley.
And this time they're talking about this weird kind of 90s kind of forgotten comic that was like a sort of Christian answer to Spawn.
Yeah.
But specifically the guy, they're kind of talking about the weird history of the creator behind it, who was like an evangelical, but who maybe in the course of doing it sort of lost his faith, which like one of them says is like, just as I was doing the same thing. And then did some other comics that were like kind of weird and violent. And it's... So instead of just being I picked up some old Fury of Firestorm and it was cool, they're actually kind of telling an interesting story about a little segment of time, the extreme 90s, and a weirdo comic that's kind of fun to check in on.
But they're doing the kind of thing that, like, this is what a comics magazine should do in the age of the internet.
Yep.
This is interviews and some interesting thoughts, So if you want something that gives you a little bit of a slice of comics industry that you maybe don't know about, it's worth picking up.
Plus, their art page shows you how to do a cool blood spatter effect.
It is true. And there's also a Chew one-pager. Yeah. The Chew creative team is doing one-pagers for at least the first 6 issues, I think. As far as collections, Batman Dark Patterns. This is sort of the darker Batman that... Dan Waters wrote.
Right. I haven't really read this, but my sense is like it would be like what if Batman was investigating the movie Seven,
right?
And stuff like that.
Yep.
Or Mindhunter, and all these David Fincher projects with serial killers.
Dave, you have one more single issue that I missed?
Yeah, I wanted to mention the final issue of the miniseries Nova Centurion, which has a cool ending. I did like it. This. We weren't sure if this was going to be like an ongoing, but I think it didn't quite pick up enough steam to do it.
Right.
But it does complete its storyline, has a kind of a neat ending, and Nova gets to be a badass in it.
Yep.
There's also what is it? The Ghost Machine line of comics. Did you mention this?
Oh, no, I didn't.
So this is kind of neat. Ghost Machine is what's his name? Jeff Johns and various other creators. They're kind of collaborative world that's like superheroes, but not. It's the one that the main one is Geiger, but also there's Redcoat, and what's
Hyde Street.
Hyde Street, yeah. It's their shared sort of genre stories in a shared setting, and they put out basically the equivalent of the old Marvel Universe handbook for all their characters and settings and stuff. And so this is like a lore book for that. Like, if you're reading those books, we should probably like put this next to those graphic novels, because this would be a great companion piece for it. It's going to be a mini series that spotlights all their characters and stuff, and I'm sure it'll have I can already tell flipping through it. It's got a bunch of good art pulled from the comics in it. The kind of fun bonus thing about it is the variant covers. There's the main cover, which is very cool. It just has a bunch of characters on a double, front and back cover splash by Gary Frank. But they also have one that looks like an old Marvel Universe handbook book, and there's one that looks like the old DC Who's Who.
Yep,
their answer to Marvel's handbook. So they pay homage to both formats that they were inspired by.
Yep.
So if you like those kind of lore books for superheroes, this is one for the Ghost Machine side.
And then I had one more.
Yeah.
The next issue of Poison Ivy.
Oh, right.
Which we now see her as the mayor of Gotham, and this is sort of a little bit more of that, how she runs her operation. There is a couple of scenes with Harley and how they've kind of separated.
Yeah.
There's a Catwoman appearance. This book is doing a lot, and it's doing it really, really well.
I really like that Ivy has become the anti-hero for our times. I feel like she went from being a villain to being a sympathetic villain to I could root for this person kind of character in the last 10 years. And I like that transition. And plus, like, her romance with Harley, it became an interesting aspect of the character. I'm kind of curious to see how they are when they're on the rocks, to be honest.
It's sort of blending of a West Wing type thing with a little bit more lethal
Right, it's
'cause
Gotham City politics, but
she's not afraid to get her hands dirty. I will say that.
Right, yeah, that would fit.
It's really good. I really had a good time with this book.
Was that like a pun, Nick? Because she's always like, planting stuff and her hands literally have dirt on them. I see how it is. Wheels within wheels.
Back to collections.
Yeah.
Batman Beyond Unlimited Compendium. This is the second Batman Beyond Compendium.
Yep.
Picks up a lot of Batman Beyond stuff. Dungeons and Dragons Crochet.
Right.
This is a book that has
delightful
little
looking.
crocheted monsters and all this kind of stuff. It also has patterns for how you do it. This is by Stacy Cook, I want to say her name. It's she is the wife of Jim Zub, who does all the D&D comics and stuff. So they're a nerd
that's
family.
so cool.
So if you ever want
These
to
are
crochet
adorable.
a mimic or a beholder.
Yep.
There's like a little puffy little gelatinous cube with eyes on it that it looks really good. Like, I would be worried about nepotism just because Jim Zub has done all this D&D stuff, and they're like, they gave his wife a book. But, it looks
great.
really good.
Yeah, it looks great. G.I. Joe Volume 3 comes out this week. This is the Dreadnought War, which we all really enjoyed.
Yep.
Yes. If you want to see, G.I. Joe's main dude, Duke, handcuffed to Cobra Commander in this weird, very violent at times, kind of buddy action-adventure where they are both being chased by the Dreadnoks, who are way amped up as far as their threat level.
Just think Mad Max kind of.
It is such a cool run and gun chase the whole time.
Yeah.
Different people have their moments. There's time when Duke's kicking ass. Cobra Commander, as throughout the series, is shown to be a guy who he's willing to put himself at extreme risk and to do bad things to people. And then the Dreadnoks are just maniacs, maniacs. They recruit a new person in this. There's all kinds of fun stuff.
There's also the issue.
And there's a big reveal in it. Yeah,
there's a big reveal
with the Transformers.
You get Transformers. You also get the introduction of Roadblock in this trade paperback. This is a great.
We are of course always recommending the new G.I. Joe, and it's another.
It is
good
always at the
collection
top of my
pile.
pile.
Yeah. Invincible Omnibus Volume 1 hardcover. This is they're redoing the big hardcover. The big omnibus there are 3 volumes of it. Keeps the whole run. These are in hardcover form, and this one has the Marvel team-up issue with him and Spider-Man. So that'll be
not in the other.
This will be a limited one, I'm sure. No. But we did get one of them because
if you got one of those old omnibuses, it's out of date, bro.
You can get another one.
You better throw it in the fucking trash.
But this one is made. This one is hardcover and limited. So
yeah, no, that is pretty cool. Cool.
Supergirl Volume 1 by Sophie Campbell. We all really liked this book.
This would be, if I was doing graphic novel picks of the week, this would be my pick of the week.
Yep.
I mentioned many times before, it's kind of got some Silver Age with modern age stuff, but it's like a chill superhero book that has some fun with Silver Age tropes in a modern style. As Supergirl basically goes back to her old town she grew up in, Midvale, to find that some things have changed and some haven't. She's got her bestie is kind of like a frenemy who's like a villainess who may or may not be reforming. It is just a fun comic and beautifully drawn by Sophie Campbell, and also has moments like Supergirl going to a goth club, kind of getting a crush on a tattoo artist. There's Sophie Campbell brings a little bit of her world into it too.
Yep.
And I love that sort of mix of that and the Silver Age. Just a clear love of those times.
I gave this a reread.
Silver and Bronze Age, I would say.
I gave this a reread this week and really reminded me how much I enjoyed it.
It's one of the few trade paperbacks I'm definitely picking up. So,
Texarcanum. This was a popular Dark Horse book. It's a miniseries all collected in one
I forget
book.
what its deal was.
It's a Texas supernatural, I want to say something like steampunky.
Is it in the... Okay, I was going to ask if it was in the present or like in the Old West.
Horror noir meets Elmore Leonard in the Mystic Midwest.
Okay, an alternate...
Monster of the Week
Midwest.
with horror elements based on mythology.
That sounds cool.
Yep.
And a little bit of Texas pride.
A little bit of Texas pride. And then Ultimate Wolverine Volume 2.
Yep.
And Wonder Woman Spirit of Truth hardcover, which this is one of those oversized. Paul Dini writes. Alex Ross draws.
Oh, yeah.
Very, very painty, very cool.
Yep.
This is
I liked every one of them. They did one,
too.
if I remember, for Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Shazam.
Yep.
And the Justice League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. These have been in and out of print. So now this brings
you should get them while you can.
the Wonder Woman one back in print, which is one of the better ones, to be honest.
I agree.
All right. We're going to take a break, and then we're going to talk about some trailers and some news.
Yep.
All right, right, we have something unusual, and I think we liked all the trailers we watched.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we watched a pretty solid batch of them. They ranged from like quite good looking to just dumb fun.
Yep.
So what do we got?
Let's start with the one I think we're least certain about, which is Cape Fear on Apple TV.
Yeah.
I think we were all discussing that the movies. Dave says the original movie is really great. Nick and I both like the Scorsese one.
Yeah, and I like the Scorsese one too. I think the original one is a somewhat stronger movie overall. The Scorsese one has a scarier character. There's no doubt one of the all-time scariest dudes ever.
I mean, it's more brutal.
De Niro.
From what I understand, it's more brutal.
100%. Yeah, they were doing things that in the 60s movie they would not have done. De Niro is absolutely terrifying in this movie.
And it actually is.
And Nick Nolte and...
Oh, yeah.
It's also...
Jessica Lange?
It was parodied in a very famous Simpsons episode.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Sideshow Bob.
Did Juliette Lewis play the daughter?
Juliette Lewis plays the daughter.
So... If you don't know what Cape Fear is, it's based on a novel called The Executioners from John D. MacDonald. It is about a lawyer who he puts a guy on. He's not on death row.
No, but he gets him basically put away for like what he thinks will be life. Even in the 60s, they kind of talked around it, but for like a violent rape of some kind.
Yep.
And it's kind of clear I think I don't remember if this is in the original, definitely is in the Scorsese version, he fudged some evidence or withheld some stuff to make sure he got the conviction.
Yep.
Over time, this guy, this maniac in prison, educates himself and bends everything in him towards revenge. He becomes smart enough and he gains the legal knowledge to get out early.
Yep.
He works out and becomes this tattooed monster.
Yep. And he comes to the town and just harasses them.
And at first he's like just kind of like showing up wherever they are. But then like in the movie, like he kills their dog and he starts stalking their daughter and like seducing her at school and stuff.
Yep.
Like it is terrifying. Every parent's absolute worst nightmare. They're expanding on it, maybe pulling more from the book. We don't know.
It's going to be a 10-episode series, and I think we're skeptical about it, but the cast is really good. Javier Bardem is playing Max Cady, the Robert De Niro role, the prisoner.
Yep.
Amy Adams and Patrick Wilson are the couple.
And by the way, Robert Mitchum played him in the original one.
Yeah.
Scary, very scary role.
CCH Pounder is in it.
Oh,
I don't know if she's his ex-boss or something.
Yep.
But it's going to be a 10-episode series on Apple TV. It's being showrun by Nick Antosca, who's worked on everything from Hannibal, the MTV Teen Wolf series, which is supposed to be pretty good, Chucky series. He's written a lot of crime and that kind of thing. I am curious. Apple TV has a really good track rate.
Yeah. I mean, some of their shows are boring.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, this one is being produced by Spielberg and Scorsese.
And by the way, I didn't know this, when I think I first watched it, but like there is a real Cape Fear. It is I was just double checking. It's a little cape off the coast of North Carolina.
Is it called Cape Fear?
It is literally called Cape Fear.
That's like Crime Alley. You don't go there.
I know. So yes.
So this is
you want to go to Cape Happy Town.
I think this goes into sort of, I don't know why they're doing this territory.
Right.
But the trailer's good.
But
it's a pretty good trailer.
Yeah.
I mean, Javier
They
Bardem...
do hint at something that has not been part of the lore before, which is, that we've talked about the fact that he like withheld evidence or something.
Yep.
And in the Scorsese one, there's the added wrinkle that he's an imperfect man. He's like played by Gregory Peck in the original, and he has almost that Atticus Finch kind of like, I'm a good man. And he is like a good man.
But Nick Nolte can never be the good man.
But Nick Nolte can't be the good man in a Martin Scorsese movie. He is like carrying on an affair with somebody at work. Although I can't actually remember if it's happened or if they're just flirting.
I feel like this will
I
probably
think it's just flirting. But he's supposed to be a more flawed person.
I think this will be hopefully a blend of the original and the to give it.
But also maybe the book
and the book as well. So
and here's the new thing is that the wife says, does he know what we did to him? So the wife has some role in it too, which is interesting because it means that like in the Scorsese one, they pit them against each other because she finds out about the affair.
I wonder if they'll be like a team.
And they're almost divided, even as they need to be united to protect themselves from Max Cady.
Yep.
Here it sounds like they may stay united, but there's probably going to be some other wrinkles.
I mean, they're both lawyers.
Maybe so.
We'll see.
So.
At any rate, it's a really good trailer, and even though I'm not sure I need another version of it, I'm definitely going to check it out.
Give it a shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we saw the trailer for Backrooms, an A24 movie.
We've at least talked about this before. It spins out of a YouTube series, which I've watched some of before, and I only was really intrigued by the first one, which is maybe about, like, I feel like a 15-minute movie about a person who is, like, making, like, a student film and just, like, falls through, like, a little hole in reality and tumbles and, like, finds themselves in what looks to be like a... how do you even describe it?
It's kind of
surrealist,
like big empty mall,
like office space mall, endless hallways, rooms,
unending spaces
and they do have like furnishings piled up weirdly in them, or arranged in some oddness. There is a surreal, kind of beautifully desolate aesthetic to it. And it was always cool. And as the guy is looking around in it in the YouTube video. Like he sees this creature, which I can only describe as looking like a little bit like Warlock from the New Mutants.
Yeah.
Or like if you took a kid's spindly scribble drawing and turned it into like this 10-foot tall monster. You only the second he sees it, he just bolts and runs, and you only catch glimpses out of it out of his peripheral vision. But it's terrifying looking. So here's an A24 movie that's going to expand on it.
Yep.
And
starring Chiwetel Ejiofor.
Oh, that's who that was.
Yep.
Oh, cool.
This looks really kind
Chiwetel Ejiofor was the agent or whatever in Serenity, the movie, the operative, the scary sword guy. And it looks like the framing device is that he is seeing, a psychiatrist or a therapist?
Right, but isn't he also, like, working in an IKEA or something, and that's where he...
Yeah, it's some big box store where he, some random night, hears something and presses his, ear up against a wall and, he walks through a portal.
Yeah. I think the fact that it was probably just a budgetary thing that they made. The original one was like, oh, it's going to be a student filmmaker, just like me, just for cheap stuff.
But I think it kind of falls into that where he's exploring this space and he does the shaky cam of kind of that.
One of the neat things that this does, I think that the original didn't do, which is he's not terrified when he first goes in there. In fact, they don't even show the creature in this thing, though they do hint at something menacing. He actually thinks it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
He's going in there and is sort of thinking about it like he's tying a rope around his waist so he won't get lost and he can find his way out. He is telling other people about it. It's clear he's been in and come out a few times.
Yeah, he's telling his friends. It looks like he tells his therapist who she's kind of not believing him completely.
I will say, aesthetically, it looks really cool, just like a better version, I guess, of the YouTube thing.
The director is the same. He's basically
the writer-director. The writer-director is Kane Parsons.
Oh, that's right,
So this fell apart because of the strike.
Yep.
Oh.
And now he's back doing it again.
So seems very passionate.
What do they call it? Liminal spaces that are kind of weird and desolate and empty. That is this embodies that.
And they brought on, along with that, a writer from Homeland, Ash vs. Evil Dead, and Westworld.
Yeah, I think they are going to expand on it in an interesting way. I trust A24 to deliver something that's got some meat to it and isn't just the YouTube idea.
And I didn't see him in the trailer at all, and maybe I just missed it. But I know Mark Duplass is in.
Yeah, he's in there somewhere.
I really like Mark Duplass. He is also kind of a low budget horror guy. He did that series. Was it Creep?
Yes.
Okay. And those were really, really good, and it kind of falls into this kind of same sort of atmospheric horror.
I am very interested to see this when it comes out. I kind of I will probably make this the only trailer I watch.
Yeah, I would.
Because I want to, however they end up interpreting what's going on, I want to be surprised by it.
One last sort of horror adjacent. This is by the director and writer, I think, of It Follows.
Oh, yep.
It's called The End of Oak Street. This is very much a teaser.
Yes, but kind of a fun one that shows kind of a suburban life on what I can only describe as a Spielbergy, 80s Spielbergy kind of street.
For sure.
Kids riding bikes, sunny suburbia. The wife is played by Anne Hathaway. The husband is played by Ewan McGregor.
Yep, correct.
And maybe a couple of kids in there.
Yep,
or something
they have a couple
like that.
kids.
And they're you see people looking out their car window in like surprise and shock, like they're seeing something terrifying. Yep. And someone is narrating and saying, or I think Anne Hathaway is saying I think that somehow our whole street has moved, has gone somewhere.
And then we see, like, there's a school
Right at
bus
the end.
cut in half.
Yep.
Like, basically, they've been dropped in sort of maybe a jungle of some kind.
Right.
And maybe prehistoric, because we see a dinosaur running by outside.
Right. At the very end, you see only through the flashes that you glimpse it in a window, a silhouette that looks like a T-Rex.
Yeah.
Chasing after
But
somebody.
I think it's a T-Rex. I thought it was like a brontosaurus or something.
Oh no, it looked
is it T-Rex?
raptor-ish.
Oh, okay.
It was definitely it was
looks
it
like
was
the
maybe
end.
closer to the size that T-Rexes actually are,
okay.
where they're not as big as Jurassic Park makes them.
Yeah.
But it also
Are
could
you saying
be
Jurassic Park lied to us? Why would they do that?
Jurassic Park would never.
did a lot of good stuff. They gave him the bird walk and stuff that's become basically the way to do him.
But this seems to be kind of maybe survival horror with some Spielberg type
Family stuff, yeah.
Family stuff.
yeah, it looks, by the way, like they are like it was like as if you like lasered out a section, a circle section of like a street, and that formed a circle that spread out for like a block or two.
Yeah.
And dropped it in the middle of like some prehistoric jungle or something like that.
I mean, it sounds cool to me.
It looks neat. I don't know if it's going to be like a survivalist thing. Like, well, can these people who no longer have access to all their worldly happiness and stuff like that, can't get water and food and stuff, like, can they survive in this dinosaur time? Is there more to it? Is the dinosaurs just part of it?
I will probably not watch any more trailers of this. I think I kind of want to go in not knowing
Yeah.
anything. So
What it reminded me of, because it was Abrams produced, was Abrams' movie Super 8, which was also a Spielberg-type homage, which was kind of the vibe here. This had a little bit of... There was kind of the music sort of suggested, not just like didn't make it completely scary. There was a little bit of something magical about it.
yeah.
Or like, this could be kind of cool, too. So, I think it'll be more interesting to kind of like let it surprise me.
I mean, I think with the director, who his other major work is It Follows, which is
a cool indie horror movie.
I feel like horror will definitely factor into this.
I agree.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Yep.
But and that appeals to me. So it's good.
The last two are trailers. We've already talked about teasers and maybe even more than one teaser, but they're very much in our genre wheelhouse. So let's talk Masters of the Universe. We get a full trailer for Masters of the Universe, and I think none of us are huge He-Man fans, right?
No, I mean,
I have some fondness. I definitely had some of the toys as a kid.
I mean, I grew up with it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I had like a lot of the toys. I had Snake Mounts.
I was
So
just
Nick
saying-
loves it. Dave likes it. I hate it.
That's
There
true.
you go.
There you go. There's
I was saying off mic that when I was a kid, I got some of the earliest toys, and they came with little comics that did not jive with the lore of the show.
Yes.
They were a little bit tougher and cooler, and He-Man was a
Did
barbarian.
somebody
man.
notable make those?
Oh, yeah. I feel like... who's that guy who did early D&D art? That was a comic... shit. He's a comic artist, too. Tim Truman, maybe?
Oh, okay.
Like, one of those...
I remember it was somebody notable.
I don't think it was Tim Truman, but somebody like that did some cool art on those early ones. There was some early comic artists, like Alfredo Alcala, or one of those guys who does, like, fantasy art. And so when the cartoon came along, like, just months later, I guess, I was a little bit like, I could already tell, like, this was kind of kiddie, and I was kind of making fun of it a little bit. So, and I kind of love-hate. They introduced the Prince Adam turns into He-Man, but that was not in the lore originally.
Yeah.
But it became the lore.
Yeah.
There's no doubt that ultimately He-Man is a story about a kind of a soft princeling who becomes a badass dude. It was kind of a fantasy version of Clark Kent or any Supergirl.
The teaser for this one made it sound almost like the Barbie movie. It felt like it was going to be like goofy. They showed the he/him nameplate, and they were definitely doing like he's a guy who's in the real world, and then he finds out he's actually. And they're definitely that I think was just the teaser they did, because the trailer is like, oh no, this is full on, magic adventure in a Marvel Cinematic Universe style.
Yes.
I would say
they sort of basically suggest that his father kind of Jor-El style, I guess you'd say,
sent him to Earth,
sent him through a portal or whatever to Earth to protect him from his enemies like Skeletor and stuff.
Yep.
He has been on Earth and finds out who he was. Like, maybe he didn't know, but he found out, and
he's been trying.
He said he's been trying to get
come
back.
home.
Yeah.
So he definitely. It's not like what the sorcerer's going to show up and just like tell him, and he's like, no, what are you talking about? Yeah,
he's going to know the deal. But they did dramatize in one of the earlier trailers. It seems like it doesn't connect immediately. Like, he's a guy who's been doing these drawings. I think he finds the sword somewhere on like a statue.
Yeah. Him becoming He-Man is going to be part of the thing,
Right?
But also like the
point,
special effects look really good. The world building looks really good.
At some point, like what is it like Tila and Man-at-Arms and stuff come to get him or something, and he goes back. He finds out Skeletor is taken over, and he's got to like transform into He-Man ultimately and kick some ass.
So the casting on this is really good. Tila is she played Veronica on Riverdale.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I really like her. Our He-Man is Nicholas Galitzine. Galitzine, who's been he was in Bottoms, which I've seen but don't remember him in. He was in Red, White, and Royal Blue, which is the gay British thing.
It was good. Solid.
He looks good here.
Yeah, I think.
Talking about
but the other people in this.
He's actually pretty. I've seen like photos. He's pretty shredded.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like he's shredded in a way where it's like you can believe that. Well, when this guy's wearing like a collared shirt and stuff like that, he just looks like kind of like a bulky regular person.
It's not Schwarzenegger.
He-Man is magically powerful.
Right.
Yeah. It's not Schwarzenegger where you're like, this guy is just a construction worker.
Yeah. Like, come on.
This guy sells computer parts. That's what you're telling me. Okay. But the other cast: Idris Elba playing Man-at-Arms.
Yep.
Alison Brie is playing Evil Lynn. Mm-hmm. Kristen Wiig is voicing Roboto.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Morena Baccarin is playing the Sorceress.
Oh, that's right.
So
there's just a brief line from Man-at-Arms talking to He-Man, and he's or Adam, and he's talking like trying to like build him up to do something. And he says something like I know what it's like to have made a mistake.
Yep.
And I don't know what we're gonna find out. Maybe something because Tila's supposed to be his daughter, but I think sometimes there's a little bit of drama written into that lore.
Tila's his daughter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
it is.
Okay.
Or maybe adopted daughter.
I think it's adopted daughter.
And so, but like maybe there's I've never seen a Mrs. Man-at-Arms. The Mrs. at Arms.
Oh, Tila's Man-at-Arms. I thought you meant she was He-Man's daughter. I'm like, that's weird.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
But maybe that's how he lost his wife. But like just that, like Idris Elba is one of those people who can just say something real quick.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, he's going to lend some weight to this. He's going to
Superman.
What's that?
He's Black Superman.
Forever. He will forever be that.
Hilarious if he used that line.
I like. He just chooses the.
Listen, Adam,
things.
you're good, but
there's also
Black Superman.
just a few other people. The guy who played the Mountain in Game of Thrones.
Yep.
He plays Goatman.
Oh my god.
Also, I see casts for Trapjaw, Mechaneck, Triclops, and Ramman.
Yep.
I have seen glimpses of some of these, and they actually all look pretty
awesome.
badass.
Yeah.
Trapjaw, who always had one of the best looks, is done.
Did we see
super good.
Triclops? I don't think we saw Triclops.
I saw somebody who I think had done some AI mock-ups.
Okay.
Based on probably some art and the actor playing them.
Can we say the funny thing about the trailer? That
Which
they
one?
changed the MGM logo from...
Oh, yes.
The roaring lion is Cringer.
Is Cringer.
It's pretty cool.
I like that they're doing Cringer Battle Cat. I like that they're not shying away from He-Man.
Yeah,
I think in some of even the Dolph Lundgren one, they did go for it, but they came up with new characters. They didn't.
Right.
They kind of were like,
I think
well, these are
going
silly.
To
we should
straight-facedly say like that. Yes, there's a guy named He-Man. There's going to be a guy named Ram Man.
Right.
Yep.
And I don't even like. They may do a little wink and a nudge at that. Kevin Smith did his pretty serious cartoon thing, but did do a little wink and nudge about some of that stuff.
I think you can't help but do a little camp.
Yeah. But it looks like they're mostly going to play this straight-faced,
which is cool.
Which I like.
I'm excited for
The brief glimpses of like King Randor, his dad. I was like, oh yeah, that looks like a good version of like the guy from the show, but like with modern Hollywood costuming and all that.
And I had to look it up, Dave, and you were correct. The mini comics that came with the original toys were written by Donald Glut.
Okay, don't know who that is.
And then the art was Alfredo Alcala.
Okay,
yeah,
there we go. He was one of those guys who, for the record, by the way, drew stuff like Conan back in the day. He was one of those artists. It could be this comes out, and despite some pretty decent trailers, the critics are like, this is like the dumbest thing ever, or this is an embarrassment for Idris Elba. But if it's halfway decent, I'll probably see it.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited for it. I didn't expect to be.
I think it's okay to have a popcorn flick.
Yeah, if it's just like a good popcorn flick, I could be down for that.
Yeah.
And then the last thing we saw is the full trailer for Supergirl.
Yep.
We've seen a couple teasers. This season, a lot more Jason Momoa's Lobo.
You
A lot more of the story.
Right, you find out some stuff with Crypto that there's like she's got a kind of countdown.
Right. If you've read the graphic novel, apparently you already knew this.
Yes.
Right. But there's like, it looks like Crypto gets like some poison dart or something, tags him.
Yep.
And she's got like 3 days to like get the antidote, which the bad dudes have on them. Now that's not the main, well, it looks like it's going to be a big part of it, but the main plot, at least from the, if it's like the comic, is a young girl.
Basically, a young
comes
girl
to Supergirl,
hires-
off-world.
She can't do anything about what has happened to her family, who has been kind of eradicated by this
It's like
menace.
are they like kind of like warlords?
Yeah,
like the equivalent,
essentially.
like it would be like Game of Thrones, like dangerous warlords.
But Supergirl is on her planet for whatever reason in the comic. In this one, it seems that they're going with she's there to party and get drunk.
Right.
That is Supergirl at the moment, and this young
I think
girl.
they do the thing where it's like if she's off world, then her Kryptonian thing will wane a little bit, and it's easier to get drunk.
Well, she goes to Red Sun Planet so she can get drunk.
And this girl hires her for sort of revenge purposes.
Yep.
At
some point, we know where we can be pretty sure that the bad guys, I guess, hire Lobo as a mercenary.
Yeah.
Probably to work for him. We think.
Or maybe she just runs across her at the bar. Runs
that
across
could
him
be.
at the bar.
They initially, I was like, "Oh, these guys are definitely going to fight," but here there's a glimpse of them, and it looks like they're teaming up.
Now, I will say we are going to get a different story because the Supergirl of the Tom King comic is vastly different than the Supergirl we have from the movies.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, so.
Well, I mean, the Supergirl is Supergirl for the most part in the Tom King stuff.
Not the one that they're showing here that's a little more jaded.
Right. She is not kind of the... I mean, I hate to just say that she's always drunk, but it definitely seems like she is in that kind of mode in the movies.
There's any number of shots of her like sprawled out drunk or... clearly just like waking up with like bedhead, playing with Crypto.
Body surfing in bars.
They do. She clearly loves Crypto. They make a definite mention. There's a line I thought that kind of resonated where Superman is sending her. He's talking to her on like the equivalent of like a video chat.
Yeah.
And from Earth.
Just checking in.
And he's like, I'm a little worried that you're spending so much time off world. He's like, I feel like you're maybe not going to be able to find your people.
Right.
And I thought that was a kind of a neat idea, and it seems like she's like, I don't have people. So it seems like she's the kind of person who, I don't know if they'll make this be this because of her tragic past or just how she is, but she has like maybe kind of some social anxiety where she's finding it hard to connect to people.
Yeah.
And that's interesting. I like Supergirl being a little different.
I mean, it's James Gunn. He's gonna do his heart story.
Yep, his lovable misfits with the heart of gold.
Yep. So we'll see that.
But I think that's that works pretty well here.
I'm excited for this. I think the trailer looks really good.
I am hopeful. I really like Superman. I'm not wild about Tom King, but I'm hopeful this will be good.
I think Tom King lends through James Gunn. I think changes it dramatically.
I think so. I did notice that they kind of did the thing that's I somewhat more often associate with horror movies of they used an old 60s song in this, What Becomes of the Brokenhearted. Yep. Great song.
It is.
But like, when they wanted to get sort of serious at the end, they do this like down key or whatever, version where it's like, what becomes of
right.
And there's like, fighting and screaming and stuff like that. But it's pretty well done.
Yeah.
It's pretty well done.
All right, a couple bits of news. We have casting for Ryan Coogler's X-Files.
Yep.
It's going to be on Hulu unless...
Y'all know casting much better than I do. Are these people that we know?
Yes. Hamish Patel, he is the lead in that movie Yesterday.
Okay.
The one with the Beatles Never Happened.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
He was also in Tenet.
Okay.
And he was in Don't Look
was
Up,
he like
which I haven't seen.
the kind of the lead in Tenet? No, that was, what's his name?
Mahir in Tenet.
Okay, yes, that's
which
right.
I've never seen. So I don't know. Anyway, I've seen him in stuff. He looks great. And Daniel Deadweiler, who is currently on Rooster. She is the dean of students. Yeah,
yep.
She's great in that. She was also in Carry On as I think the wife.
I think that is
possibly
correct.
Okay.
And she was in the movie The Harder They Fall, the Western, which I really liked. I don't remember who she was in, but she was also in The Bear on one episode.
Oh, okay.
So good casting.
We believe this is going to be a sort of sequel to X-Files.
Yes, it is not a reboot.
Probably Scully and Mulder, we think, are going to guest star.
Yes, because they're not playing Scully and Mulder.
Right, but those characters will
basically
show.
passing.
Maybe, yeah.
So is this essentially going to be passing the baton of the X-Files?
What it seems like.
Is the dude who plays Skinner still alive?
I think he is.
Because he used to be on like Sons of Anarchy as like a white supremacist.
Yep.
And he was on Supernatural as well.
Oh, was he?
Mm-hmm.
I'm super excited about Ryan Coogler's
I want to see it, man.
X-Files. I'm wary only because I remember being excited for Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
And how disappointing that was.
Yeah.
So I'm bracing for that possibility.
But I will say Ryan Coogler has yet to make a wrong choice. I think
true.
most of his movies are exceptional.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's correct.
And Homeboy did just win an Oscar.
It's true.
I will say, if you ever see any news about this, don't read the comments.
Good God, no.
You will just see an avalanche of racist assholes.
Yep.
Who's like literally the only thing that they talk about is that there are people of color in the leads. That's
Now,
all
remember,
that's triggered that these people get.
A lot of these people are bots.
Right. It's true.
And
it's true.
all of them are going to hell.
Yes. If they're not a bot, they're going to hell. If they are a bot, they're going to hell. They're going to bot
They're
hell.
going to bot hell.
Yeah. But yes, I actually wasn't the most devoted X-Files watcher. I've not seen every episode of the X-Files. I've seen a lot of them.
Same.
I love its vibe,
Yep.
the characters and everything like that, and how groundbreaking it was.
Chris Carter never committed to the bit, I think.
No.
Just kind of...
He was. This was
the
before we
big
had
war-
like story arcs the way.
Right,
yeah.
he was there right at the beginning of it, and unfortunately, they just didn't have
It's
that
like,
part.
there's
down.
this alien bounty hunter, badass guy. Aliens don't exist. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of the stuff didn't ultimately come together so
Right.
great, but man, like the path
Oh
there
yeah.
was so fun.
And a lot of the standalone episodes are
there
great.
There are episodes
yeah.
that I still have
Yeah.
returned to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also it's where Vince Gilligan got his start.
Yep.
Yep.
There's a lot of people in there.
It's worth, by the way, watching the random episode where, speaking of white supremacists, where what's his name, Walter White, actor,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
plays
Bryan Cranston.
a somewhat sympathetic dude who takes Mulder at gunpoint and makes him drive him cross country.
Yep.
Because there's like
Yes.
this, there's like an implant in his head that's killing him.
He has to keep moving. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like just a really well written, super tense episode. So anyway, given all that history, I want to see what Ryan Coogler does with it.
I'm excited for it.
Also, you know what's spooky? UFOs.
It's true. The other bit of news is that Amazon Prime is going to be an adult animated series based on the graphic novel Monstrous.
An adult. Yep.
Which is also interesting because it is the showrunner Stephen Maeda worked on the live action One Piece, worked on Lost, worked on X-Files, and worked on Daybreak.
Oh.
All really
that's
good
some
sci-fi.
really good stuff.
He's got a good.
I've not read Monstrous.
I tried it once, and this is going to be weird to say. It was a little dark for me.
Yeah.
I know it's very dark.
It is a dark fantasy setting, but it also seems like I know people who really love it. I always thought the art looked amazing.
I was going to say, are they going to try to bring... Is it Sonatakata?
I would guess probably they're going to try and bring that style. That's why they're doing animated.
It's such an amazing art style.
The art's gorgeous.
I'm wondering, like, I've seen some pretty amazing genre animation and stuff like Arcane. And, there's something else. Oh, like the Mona had good animation. Obviously, the CG that they used for like that Dragon Prince, was that what it's called? And even Avatar in general. Like basically, I'm seeing like stuff that uses CG, stuff that doesn't. That's been really good. What do you call it? Spider-Verse set new standards.
Yeah.
And I know it's not going to have a budget like that. It's but it may have some budget.
I mean, Amazon has a ton
Amazon's
of
got some money. Yeah.
It's not like they're just
So
raiding the piggy bank.
I think this will be one to watch for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, we're going to take a break, and then we're going to come back and talk about Project Hail Mary. All right, this is your spoiler warning. We have all seen Project Hail Mary.
Yep.
Everyone should see Project Hail Mary. It's great.
Yeah, I'm going to say if you're going to check out before we get to the spoilers, you can get this is broadly a big recommendation.
Yeah.
I just want to preface this. I gave this movie 5 stars on...
I give it 5 stars and a heart.
I think I did too.
4 stars.
Oh, wow.
All
Dave
right,
hated
so Dave
it.
hated it.
I've got a few criticisms.
Oh, I
Criticisms.
see. I got a lot of problems with you people.
All right.
Let's get into it. Let's talk about it. So, we've all read the book?
Yep.
Yes.
Audiobook?
You know what? I looked the other day and I have the audiobook, and I think I might have started to read it that way or something like that, but I definitely ultimately read it.
I read print.
I listened to it
I
on
found
the
it-
way to take my kid to Boston.
Oh, okay. I actually think it may be my favorite of the 3 Andy Weir books I've read.
I have not yet read Artemis, but this is definitely my favorite Andy Weir book. I love The Martian. I read The Martian, and I saw The Martian. It's a great movie.
Yep.
I was wary of an adaptation of this book because Project Hail Mary is a big, more ambitious than The Martian.
Yeah.
And I was like, can they really adapt this in even a 2.5-hour movie?
Yeah.
But it definitely has similarities with The Martian.
It does. And The Martian being correctly filmed made me feel like somebody could do it. And when you get Lord and Miller, who have really done no wrong, and you get Drew Goddard, who is a pretty solid writer.
He is a great adapter.
Did he direct?
What's funny, by the way, is
right?
that Lord and Miller have no particular appeal to me. I don't see their movies.
Spider-Verse?
I've seen it, but I'm not the biggest fan.
Really?
I was made to go see it.
Yeah. But
I think the animation is amazing. I think it has amazing scenes, but
what about the Lego movies?
Never saw them.
Oh, okay.
Still to this date have not gotten around to it. Whenever I see bits of them, I'm like, this is pretty funny, but I don't really want to see them.
They also did the Mitchells vs. the Machines, which is a great animated movie.
It is.
And 21 Jump Street.
Pretty good.
Watch
Cloudy with Chance of Meatballs. And did they actually... They were just producers on Cocaine Bear. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Elizabeth Banks directed.
Yeah, I'm like, when they direct or write, I want...
So, for Randy and myself,
Yep.
pretty stellar track record.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is another one.
But I wanted people to know that you might enjoy it even if you don't give a shit who they are.
It's true.
So, the trailers showed a touch more than I would in a perfect world than I would have liked to have shown, but I understand why they did it.
Yeah.
Which is to say that there's a problem, which is we'll expound on in a minute, which is causing our sun to dim.
Yep.
And this guy, somehow this school teacher gets sent off into space, and we know you're going to know to try and deal with it. And at least from the trailers, that he runs into some sort of alien life.
Yep. But you know what? Again, with these trailers, they didn't give that much away.
No.
It's not the story.
Right.
It's not the overall story. I do kind of only because I got the ideal experiences. I went into the book, which I borrowed from Nick. And
right.
That's right.
About that.
I don't know if I ever returned it, but I did.
It's okay.
Borrow it.
I read it. I'm good.
But I had it for a year, and then I finally got around to reading it, and it was great.
Yep.
And it was it opens the way this movie does with this dude waking up, and at first he's just not sure where he is. It looks like a clinical laboratory environment, high tech.
Yeah.
But he's not sure where it is.
He's groggy. He
groggy.
doesn't remember anything. I don't even know his name.
No.
There's little sort of machines that are robotic arms that are assisting him because he's his muscles are kind of weakened.
Atrophied, yeah.
And what he will come to realize when he looks out a spaceport in this, it's a little different in the book, but is that he's in space.
Yep.
He is on a rocket with some artificial gravity generated by the thrust of the rocket and stuff like that. And he realized that ultimately that he's got some memory loss from being in a comatose state. Who he will find out was an induced coma, along with what were some other passengers who unfortunately died in the process. It was a risky process, and they knew it could happen. And then through a series of flashbacks, you're going to find out how this all came about.
Yep.
My brother, when he was reading it just recently, said, he's like, I don't know why they're still showing these flashbacks, even almost right up to the end, when we kind of know he gets on the ship or whatever, but there's a reason.
There's a big twist that I'd sort of forgotten about as I'm watching the movie, and then we get to it, and I'm like, oh, right before it happens.
It's like the emotional fulcrum of the movie.
And the other interesting thing is, the person I went to see the movie with, she has never read the book.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we're coming up on that part, and she's like, for her that was a holy shit moment.
Yeah.
Because it's completely upends the relationship we've seen him building with the woman who heads up the Hail Mary project.
Yep.
And it also,
I guess we don't want to spoil it.
No.
Maybe
what's
we
interesting is
stuff, but we don't want to spoil that.
It's one of those things that could villainize that character, but instead you're like, no, I kind of see where she's coming from, and it turns out she was right.
Right. This is a sort of the highest stakes conceivable.
Yep.
Because what we'll find out, and what he kind of in a clever way they did it. He's a school teacher, and even though he's got Ryan Gosling good looks, they give him kind of frumpy sweaters and cheesy T-shirts and stuff in this.
He's a nerd.
And he's like a science teacher whose kids kind of like clearly he bonds with them.
Well, and it's kind of like in where Walter White in Breaking Bad was like this clearly was overqualified high school teacher.
Yeah.
This guy has a doctorate in molecular biology,
Right.
but he had a weird theory that got him drummed out of the scientific community.
He kind of got
and
on
now
the outs.
All he can do is teach, and he's qualified to be like one of the highest minds of the country.
Yep.
Which is why he winds up sort of being.
But he's a little nerdy. He's a little kind of
goofy.
like he's goofy. He doesn't quite fit in with people.
Right.
Not only because his views are different, but
yeah, he's kind of a quirky nerd.
He's just kind of an odd guy.
Where we find out sort of the plot of it is that we see little glimpses on the news going on, but his kids are they're anxious and nervous about something. There's this weird thing that all their parents are talking about, and it's on the news, and it's been around for a couple years.
Yeah.
It's this band of light between the sun and Venus.
Yeah.
And it's they've, I guess, managed to get like a sampling, like a probe or something went out there. And by the way, this is all in the kind of fairly realistic science territory.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
kind of longer time spans.
Weir usually takes like practical science ideas and kind of extrapolates what we could do with that.
Right.
Right.
So
there's more science in the book, and they tell you enough in the movie to still get the ideas.
Yes.
But the thing is that this band of light has something that is like, it's almost like a virus, but it's approaching life.
Yeah.
It acts like a living thing, and it consumes energy and like turns it into I forget what.
It's basically like siphoning off.
It's siphoning off. And there's it's like a lot of it, and so it's siphoning off energy from the sun, not at a rate where it's like about to wink out, but like in like 10 years
generation.
or something. Yeah, within a generation, it will diminish by like 15%, causing massive worldwide global catastrophe. But it will only get worse.
And I like in his classroom, he's like, we don't talk about this. And then the kids are like, well, my parents are saying we're going to die.
Yeah.
And it's like, and he's like, okay, we need to talk about this.
Right, and so you kind of get him explaining it to him, which is their clever version of the Mr. DNA scene from Jurassic Park.
Also, man, Ryan Gosling, man.
He's pretty
great.
good.
He did an amazing job here.
Yep.
He pushes himself through all the emotions in
Yeah,
this.
He does.
for sure.
Because like you're going to see fear, you're going to see love and caring, you're going to see confusion, you're going to see
Excitement.
abject panic. And you know, ultimately what they'll find out is like the interesting thing that the scientists discover is that there's multiple, this is super scary like sounding, like multiple stars that have all shown this dimming effect that are clustered around us, almost the way like, you know, a virus expands to different cells and stuff like that and infects it.
Well, it's all the stars
Except for one.
Except for one.
And they're like, there is something about this star that is protecting it from it or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is like 160...
It's
Tau Ceti,
it's
right?
like 7 light years, I think, away. Generally, what would be beyond our technology, but they, with some help from him and some other scientists, because a worldwide coalition is formed, because this is a worldwide disaster level thing. They're like, we can use these little semi-alive things, and the way that they convert matter, and we can build an engine out of it within a few years that can push things faster than we've ever gone before.
Yeah.
And so it's weird because you're using the very thing that's going to kill us all to potentially find a solution, and they send him off to do that. Only there's secrets and reveals that you're going to find out over the course of the movie's runtime.
Yep. And then we haven't talked about Rocky.
We haven't even talked about Rocky because, like, when he is out there, what's his character's name?
Ryland
Grace.
Yeah, Dr. Grace. When he is out there, his first big panic is like figuring out just what's going on and who he is. But when the ship slows outside of the star system that he's meant to get to, and he's starting to figure it out, another ship arrives. And this is freaking cool because he is terrified as you should be.
Yep.
And then there's also some funny shit.
Yeah.
He's like, nope. He tries to nope out and get away from it, only to find that this ship very easily just keeps tracking him.
I mean, it's a lot like The Martian because it's Andy Weir's sense of humor.
Yeah.
There is humor in this solitary thing.
Yes.
And this is no different.
The way their earliest attempts to communicate with each other are very funny.
Yes.
And I like that it's like very different from, say, Contact or something like that, because it's not like they might be out there. It's like it's there. It's like it's a few hundred feet from your ship is another ship, and they've got to figure out what to do and get past his fear and everything. And eventually they will like form a docking port sort of thing, and they're going to meet, even though this thing can't be in the same environment as him.
Yeah.
It has to wear like a little sort of environment suit or be behind a little wall pretty much all the time. It's a sort of spidery Rocky thing.
His name is Rocky.
Yep.
And that he calls him Rocky for that, which has some fun uses later on. I thought that I was talking about this off mic with Randy yesterday and saying, I know that the producers had to have been like, we need to give it like a humanish type face.
And they didn't do it.
And they didn't do it. They stick to the idea of the book, which is that it's pretty weird looking.
But despite that, partly because of the way they give it a voice translation,
Right.
they give it a very strong, good
makes
character.
These little sort of musical sounds, which eventually he's like, okay, well, I know that word means like wall or watch or whatever, or number. And he's like, he starts to make a little...
Basically uses his laptop to build a translator. And he runs that through a voice filter so that what he hears it out loud.
The voice filter scene is great.
The voice filter scene is great, and it includes a cameo, which I can't believe they got, which is great.
Yep.
Yes. So Rocky is, in fact, this very endearing character.
Yep.
A scientist on par with him, but very different. He comes from a world where he uses like echolocation. He can't see. And in fact, also lost his own crew because it's explained a little bit more in the book, but they literally don't know what radiation is. Right. Weir kind of explains how like they can have actually come up with amazing advancements, but their particular path is just so different from ours that they never learned what like radiation was, and so in the stuff that they had to use to get to this killed a lot of them.
Well, it's all about the bond they form over trying to solve this problem and the friendship that they make.
Yeah.
And I delved into a little bit behind the scenes because I was curious.
You got to be pretty hard-hearted not to be moved by what happens.
Because apparently a lot of what we see on screen is Ryan Gosling working with a puppet.
Oh, so I wondered how much of that was CG.
So there is CG in some instances where they needed a certain thing, but they wanted something that he could interact with.
Ah, that's pretty cool.
And they actually did the puppetry.
Because I got to say, it felt like he was acting off of something real, and that's part of why his performance is so good, and why the connection between them is so good, because... Probably because of that physicality, actors need something to work with.
And the Rocky's voice, which is done by James Ortiz, which I'm unfamiliar with him, but he was he was great.
Yep, you're gonna really like this dude. It struck me that even though this movie is clear, there's really nothing overtly political about it.
No,
but. At a time when I think, unfortunately, our country is struggling with xenophobia at a level I never thought I would see in my lifetime. Yep. Terrible, awful. It's kind of a reminder of cooperation, of why you have neighbors, of why you work with them, what's amazing about other cultures, and all this stuff. And I'm like, this is a lesson that is very, very important right now. And it happens in such a natural way.
It's also very much about the model of sacrifice for the greater good. Mm-hmm. Like these astronauts are like, we're going to die in space.
Yeah,
but we're going to save humanity. Like
what's his name from Lost played one of those astronauts, and even though it's just kind of cameo roles, he did really good. The lady who's the director of the project,
Sandra Hüller,
she's great.
Great. She's been great in everything.
She's a big character, and they did a great job with casting.
She was the lead in Anatomy of a Fall, which won some awards. It was really, really good. She was also the wife of the Nazi. Did you ever watch Zone of Interest?
Yes.
She was the wife.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So you could see her acting range of just kind of portraying different people.
Because she was like the wife who was just kind of like
she was very much living the dream because they were like, we are the pinnacle of family.
Right. Her worries were like, getting the linens pressed or whatever while they're literally next to a concentration camp that's murdering people.
Yeah, it was disturbing.
So yes, that is a vast range that actress has.
And I think that was definitely her singing as well.
Okay, that's a great sequence. I don't think we want to say too much more about the plot and where it goes, but I think it's easy to say this is like you should see it.
I'm curious about your gripes though.
All right, so I'll say a few here.
Sorry, before you get to your gripes, I just want to say for the record, I think it's very likely this is my best movie of the year, and it's March. April, I guess.
You,
But
you feel confident enough.
I am very confident this will be my favorite.
I don't know.
movie.
I feel
Now,
like
Randy,
there might
understand
be.
that Masters of the Universe hadn't come out yet.
I know, and neither has Avengers Doomsday.
I feel like
but-
there might be some contenders later on.
We'll see. This is so
great.
good. This
What
is
about
such a-
Ram Man's soliloquy?
Interesting. Interesting. Anyway, proceed with your gripes.
All right, here's a part that stunk. Now, I weirdly this one is just a gripe.
Yep.
The first 10 minutes or so of the movie, I felt weirdly disconnected from.
Really?
They kind of catch you up in a way not dissimilar to the book, but I found that I felt like there's a little bit of the quick cutting that they do, in that Lego and Spider-Verse style.
Yep.
That was a little off-putting to me at first. And so it took a little bit for me to connect. I needed to start seeing some of the Earth scenes or something, and then I started to kind of plug into it.
The structure is very different.
It is a little different, and every once in a while they made it, a lot of times they made choices I thought were very clever ways to adapt the book.
Yep.
Every once in a while they did something where I missed something from the book. There's one thing that I don't think was in the book that did kind of bug me. I actually can't say anything about it without talking about the very, very end.
Okay.
But I can sort of say where it starts. There's a bit where he's talking to the project director lady we were just talking about, and he asks her if she believes in God. Mm-hmm. And she says she's like I just what's the alternative, or it's better than the alternative. And that's kind of left unquestioned. I don't
really care about that.
It was a little weird to me that I would assume that he's probably an agnostic or atheist scientist, but the way it sort of lingered in the air and sort of hung, I sort of felt like the movie was saying she's kind of right. And then there's something at the very end of the movie that also made me think that was just a little bit of an undercurrent.
Huh. I don't get that
I'll tell
vibe
you all
from
off
Weir's
mic
work.
what I
Yeah.
was talking about.
Okay.
What I'm talking
Yeah.
about.
I'll be curious. 'Cause
I am
I don't know if I've got that.
pretty attuned to that kind of stuff, and it didn't get to me. So,
Well, Randy, you don't hate God the way I do.
I thought I did. So Nick loves God. I like God. You hate God.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's always there's always a list. Anyway, let's see. I'm trying to think. Other things were kind of minor. Now I'm going to blank on them.
Yeah.
But overall, I'm happy to recommend the movie. I think it's really good. I'm not willing to call it the best movie of the year yet. This Lord and Miller guys, I don't know if they're going to go anywhere with their careers.
I loved it. Nick liked it. You hate it.
And merely a 4-star movie for me. Merely 4
That's
stars.
right. Did you give it a heart?
I don't know. I'm looking it up.
Because that's whether we really love it is if you give it a heart.
Listen, I feel like I probably should, no matter whether I marked it on this or not, because I feel like I cried 5 times in this movie.
No, it's that kind of movie. It's really good.
And by the way, also I'm
Yep. 5 stars in the heart.
there you go.
Oh,
4 stars
okay.
and a heart.
4 stars and a heart. Oh, you also gave it a heart.
I gave it a heart.
Oh, okay.
What a
All
bunch
right.
of softies.
All right.
I was very happy with
I
it.
loved
was
it.
very anxious also to see if they can do a triple threat and adapt his next his book Artemis as well. Artemis is in some ways the toughest of them because it is
Well, it's an ensemble.
It's an ensemble, but it's also
The Martian's a huge
toughest in the
ensemble.
sense that it is about a murder mystery on a near future moon colony.
Yeah.
But there's gangsters and mobsters and some bad people and
It's a little bit larger scale than what we've seen, even though I know the Martian
not distance wise.
not distance-wise, but there's
Characters.
Yes, it is more expansive. It kind of is set in one place and doesn't involve traveling about the way
Correct.
either of these other 2 movies have.
Yeah.
But I will say, by the way, for me, the Martian is a 5-star movie, and this is a 4.
Interesting. I definitely like this better than The Martian.
And I
love The Martian.
definitely like Martian
I think
better.
they're both 5-star movies for me.
Yeah, I
But
really love The Martian.
yeah, it's a sort of an embarrassment of riches.
Yep.
It's, we're Andy
Yep.
Weir is getting. Any writer would be lucky to get this level of adaptation.
Yeah.
So there you
Yeah.
go.
Maybe you should stop talking crap about Star Trek, though. That poor guy.
I was like, what are you talking about? Yes.
Andy Weir went on the Critical Drinkers podcast. We don't know anything about this podcast, but
I know the Critical Drinker. He's a piece of shit.
that's what I thought. I'm like, first of all, he shouldn't have been on that podcast.
He should not have
But
been
when he
on
went
that
on there, he was joking around in kind of mean-spirited ways and said some shit about modern-day Star Trek.
Yeah.
And
Critical Drinker is definitely one of those guys who would call it woke and all that stuff. So
and
I wish Andy Weir hadn't done that.
Weir, unfortunately, played right into it. But he then publicly apologized to Alex Kurtzman and was like, yeah, I was trying to be goofy. I shouldn't have said that. And credit to him for getting up there. He shouldn't have said in the first place, but he did quickly say, hey, I was being an asshole.
Yep.
So, yeah. And all the internet seems to be trying to make it a thing because he also did an apology. He's like, sorry, I'm not used to people paying attention to me. I'm a writer. He's like, don't worry. After the movie is out of the theaters, people will stop paying attention to me.
He's like, I'm going to hole up for 9 months or whatever.
But right now, he should have known I can't just say whatever I want to say.
Yeah.
So, anyway, we've got other stuff we'll get back to next week. That'll wrap it up for this week. Until next time, yo Joe.
Roguecast is a weekly podcast broadcast from Rogues Gallery Comics and Games in Round Rock, Texas. You can find us online on Facebook and at www.roguesgallerytx.com and email us comments or questions at roguesgallerytx@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.